Hi class. I wanted to go over a couple of things that will help you as far as improving your writing. So when I go through a paper, sometimes I will make comments like this that I'll just type in using Feedback Studio. Say a bit more about this. I'm not sure how this works, so asking for some explanation. Sometimes I have more to say and I'll put in a comment, or I just choose to use it this way. And you see these comments when you click on these boxes here. So anytime you see one of these message boxes, it means I'm saying something to you, and maybe I don't think it's going to fit into this fashion. So I got a couple of different ways that I can do this. When you see these blue boxes, these are kind of built-in comments because I have to correct the same kinds of things many times, obviously. You know, you're not the only student who has to work on some of these things. So that's a generic comment. Let me see if it'll pop up. There we go, paraphrase. And I say, whenever possible, state the author's position in your own words, cite the source, but do not quote it unless it's truly remarkable wording. Your own thinking and wording are what counts, okay? So review that. If you see that coming up a lot, it means you need to work on that. And one of the reasons why this student needs to work on that particularly is that I've come over here and I see the non-original amount. Typically this should be 15% or less. So in this case it's 30%. And when I click on that, and you can do the same thing, then it comes up and shows me all of this colored material that's coming from different schools. And it hasn't been properly cited, those kinds of things. So it has to be all in your own words, or if you're going to quote, then you need to not only cite it, but put it in quotation marks. So you can look at that, and that should help you. If this is under 15%, under 10%, you're probably pretty good. That is for most papers. Sometimes I'll highlight the whole paragraph and say, hey, I'm not sure what the topic of this paragraph is. You talk about this and talk about that, but it's not clear. So you need to go back and redo the whole paragraph, rework it. There was another one I wanted to show you. Oh, here's another one. So trim. This is a common problem that students have. It's just using too many words to say what could be said with fewer words. So I'll say trim. But then there's this bubble with it as well. And so here, what I've done is I've added to the built-in comment. So the built-in comment, move me over here. The built-in comment is this: academic writing is lean. See if you can say the same thing in fewer words. For help in learning to be concise, see here. So often you will find a hyperlink that will take you to a site that will help you work on this. This is from Purdue University, from their English program. It's called the OWL, or Online Writing Lab. And so a lot of my comments have these links that will help you to understand better how to improve in that area. So as far as becoming concise, you could click on that. And so what I did here is I added this comment. That's why there's a little bubble here. And I just said, well, how about saying it this way? According to the General Accounting Office, 18%, instead of the way they've done. General Accounting Office conducted a study. Where's the sense? And within the study, their finding showed that 18% of, well, I've trimmed all of that down, all that chunk down into a much smaller phrase. Okay, so that's the kind of thing I mean by trim. Here's another one, how to use the apostrophe. And I explain that, review that, and again, there's more information. So make use of these tools. So that you can improve. Every time you get a paper back, you'll get comments on this, and if you pay attention to them and work at it steadily over time, you'll become really good.